Americans do not celebrate. U.S. Attorney General and extremist Pam Bondi has said that a third term for the king is highly unlikely, and this is why you should not celebrate, because it is temperature control. It is intended to make you become much more tolerant of the wins that they do achieve. And those small wins that they do achieve will be the ones that will secure their permanent control of government, because you're busy thinking, hey, at least he's not going to run for a third term. It's going to be only 4 years. But in fact, you're going to ignore the fact that North Carolina just overturned 60,000 votes. Nor the fact that there's going to be legal voter suppression that is affirmed by the courts. You're gonna say, yeah, he shouldn't have sent that one guy over to El Salvador when he in fact was protected here in the United States. But at least, he probably won't get birthright. But that's the thing, and that's how they do it. They tell you something wacky so that when that wacky thing is struck down, then you're happy because that wacky thing didn't happen. But then you ignore all the other things that will cultivate and their actual control. And this is the thing, this extremist version isn't just about one person. So it's not about DT, it's not about JD, it's not about EM. They're just vessels that have allowed for the extremists who have promoted, constitutional sabotage for generations to cultivate their control and success of an ultimate extremist version of the United States that is conservative. What does this mean? That they want to subvert the legal channels, they want to subvert the constitutional channels in order to promote the shortcomings and rewrite the Constitution and reshape law. For what? So that they can say we don't have authoritarian control, because we're not just going to have one person running forever. We're going to have different people running. And then it just so happened that Republicans will have control of all three branches, because we instilled so many loyalists into the government, and we instilled so many loyalists into the electorate process and to the judicial process. So we have absolute control. And what is that? That is an influence of the PRI in Mexico, over 70 years of control that they had across the three branches. Why? Because they used the same channel that EM used in Wisconsin. They said, I'll give you money if you vote. They didn't tell you how to vote. Technically they did, but who's going to prove it? It's called legal voter corruption, right? Legal voter suppression. And that's why he said that blue states will no longer exist, because he's going to input channels in order to subvert our will. How? They put one of their minions in Los Angeles as the attorney general. They're going to put them all throughout the United States of America, just like they inputted a bunch of their minion loyalists to the electoral process. Because you will say, well, at least he's only going to serve 2 terms. So now you're going to be tolerant of his presidency to finish, not knowing that they have already positioned a foundation that will ensure that the Constitution means nothing. Was to eliminate the Constitution, not through the proper channels of amendments, but through their own compromising of the channels and allowing for the shortcomings to allow for them to have maximum authority in a reality in which we no longer live in a democracy, but in authoritarianship. So don't celebrate this. Don't celebrate this, because they're only allowing for you to feel secure, for you to feel like, hey, this is better than maximum temperature, because now it's warm, but you're still boiling. You're still boiling, and democracy will still die. And not only democracy, the United States Constitution will be meaningless. But if it is meaningless for the government, then why should it mean something for the states? It's a double-edged sword.